Welcome to the first installment of Week 6 predictions. I'm going to start off these predictions with a game between Alex and Andrew. Andrew has Darrell Henderson Jr. I think he's going to go off this week. He's going against the Giants defense, who's not too great against giving up points to running backs. And he's been consistent, so it's a good week for him to break out. Tyreek Hill. I'm not sure. He could be boom or bust. He's going against Washington's defense, ranked 29th against the pass right now. And he's got a bruised quad. So I've had one of those. I know how much it can hinder you running. So we'll see. He could be fine come game time, or he may be limited. So we'll have to see how that one plays out the rest of the week. I also like Brandon Cooks. I think he's gonna have a pretty good week. He's had 2 down weeks, but going against Indianapolis, who's 25th in the pass currently through 5 weeks of the season. I think he's got a chance to have a good week. I don't like Hawkinson so much. He's dealing with a knee injury. Didn't practice today, Wednesday. So we'll see. For Alex, I think Derrick Henry's going to be a bust. But this may be his only week that he's a bust. But he's going against Buffalo, who is very good against the run game. So it'll be interesting to see that matchup. Pretty much the number 1 run defense versus the number 1 running back. So we'll see how that turns out. I do like Deontay Johnson. I think he's going to have a good week going against Seattle. I really like him because Juju's out. So that's going to limit Big Ben, who's already having a bad year. I think he gets the ball to Johnson quite a bit. I also like Metcalf. He's had 5 touchdowns in 3 games, and he's going against Pittsburgh, who's not ranked 30th in pass defense. So we'll see how that one turns out. As far as the outcome, I think Andrew upsets Alex. I think Henry not having his best week, I think Andrew pulls out the victory in this week. Game, we're going to do McKeegan versus Brian for McKeegan's team. I think Jacobs is a bust going against Denver, another top run defense in the league. And Jacobs has only had 1 game of 15 carries this week. So his workload's been pretty light when he has played, and he's been injured already this season. I don't see him having a very good week. Thielen, I have him down as a bust. He's dealing with a foot injury, also did not practice today. And he's going against a tough pass defense in Carolina. Also, Dalvin Cook's out, or may be out. So depending on how good the run game is, I don't know if Minnesota's passing game will be there. So we'll have to just see what happens that game. For McKeegan's team, I do like Allie Cox. Going against Houston, he's had 2 games of 4 targets, and in both those games, he caught 3 passes. So I think he's going to have a good game. Nothing crazy, but I think it's a boom week for him nonetheless. I also really like Fournette going against Philadelphia, and he's coming off 2 good games where he had a pretty decent workload for the first time with Tampa Bay. So interested to see if they build on that, or if because Philadelphia has a pretty good pass defense. It'll be interesting to see how Tampa Bay chooses to play that game. For Brian, Kyler Murray playing Cleveland, who's not that great in the pass. I think he has a big week. He's had two down weeks against 2 pretty good defenses. So I think Cleveland's the game. Murray bounces back. I think that depending on how Baker plays, I think that's a high-scoring game potentially. I also think Eckler will have a big week. I think that's a no-brainer at this point. He's going against Baltimore, who's 27th in points to running back. So Knox. As good as Knox has been for Brian, I do think this is the week he falls off. He's going against Tennessee, who's probably got one of the better defenses in the league this year. They're ranked second to tight ends. And his big weeks were against Miami, Washington, Houston, and Kansas City. Not great defenses in the passing game, so I think he comes back down to earth a little bit. Carson is a big question mark for Brian this week. So didn't play last week. He's questionable this week. So we'll see if he plays for this outcome. I think Carson sits one more week. I think Seattle tries to get him healthy, and they just try to win without him this week. So with him sitting, I think even with him sitting, I think Brian wins by a blowout. McKeegan, just too many holes in your team this week. Not a lot of great favorable matchups outside Allie Cox and Fournette. So got Devin versus David. Devin, Mahomes, I think he's going to do big things against Washington, who's got the worst defense when it comes to quarterbacks this year in fantasy. I think Mixon also goes off. A little thing to watch is his ankle. He didn't practice today, but that's pretty common. But until you find out, like I did with Cook this past week, that he's not playing an hour before the game. But I think you're fine there. I think he has a pretty good week. I also think Claypool has a good week. Juju's out. Seattle's defense against wide receivers isn't great this year. Legion of Boom is definitely not there. So I think Claypool has a pretty good week. Pitts is on a bye, though. So you're going to have to hope that Higbee can, I would say, at least get about 8 points. And then Jones Jr., I think he's a bust this week. He's had less than 5 targets in the last 2 games. So I would say if that happens again, I would look to probably drop him. Because 3 games of that low of production, I don't see having him on the team anymore. For David, I think Gordon's a bust. I think Williams, who averaged 7 yards a carry last week, I think he's going to start taking that primary job over. I think you'll just see Gordon on short yardages, which may be good in the red zone. So, I mean, you never know still. But I don't think he does as much as he's been doing. Then we got Devontae Adams. I think he goes off. He's had more than 10 targets the last 3 games, which is crazy. And then you have AB and Evans. I think one of them is going to be boom. I think one of them is going to be a bust. I think they're playing Philadelphia, number 5 pass defense. I don't see both of them having a big game. So yeah, I think that's going to end up being a wash there if you start both of them. Outcome, with that being said, because that's going to be a wash for your team, I think Devin upsets David with Mahomes this week. I think Mahomes and Mixon carries his team, and he's able to pull off the upset. Next game, we got Ethan and Daniel Saul, not Monin. This is the this is the matchup of the injured, man. You guys have no bench, both of you. Ethan, Titans defense. You're starting them, and they're playing the second-ranked offense. Not a good look to start the early predictions, but I think Hurts has a good week along with Rieger. Probably missaid that. I think they both have big weeks against Tampa Bay. I think it's probably going to be a high-scoring game, honestly. Daniel Robinson, I really like this week. He's been consistent, and they're playing Miami. He's ranked 31 in run defense. I think this is his chance to finally have a breakout week this season. Kelsey is Kelsey. I think he's going to be a cornerstone every week for you. James Conner, I do not like. He's primarily the runner in that offense, and Cleveland is very good against the run. I think they turn to Edmonds in the second half a lot more than Connors, because I think they're going to have to air the ball out in the second half. Marquise Brown, I don't like either. Playing the Chargers, number 2 in pass defense. So for my prediction, I think Ethan wins if the Eagles score enough points. I think Hurts and Rieger are gonna have a great week, and I think that's what edges you out over Daniel Saul. Sorry, Dan. Next game, Chad versus Ryan. I really like Diggs playing Tennessee, who's a passing game. Lamb, I don't like. They're going against New England, and there's so many receivers. You never know which one of them's going to get primary of the targets. So I don't really like Lamb either. I also don't like the Cowboys defense for you, Chad. Or I do like the Cowboys defense. Sorry, they're playing New England with a 30th ranked offense. I think they get over 10 points. I think New England turns the ball over with Mac Jones in his first year. So Ryan, Josh Allen. It's Josh Allen. He's 2+ touchdowns in 4 games this year already. And Tennessee's defense, again, not the best. So I also like Harris. Seattle, 30th ranked in points given to running backs this year. He had 23 carries last game. I only see that going up, especially with Juju out. I think his workload continues to increase a little each week. So I think he starts putting up numbers like Bell was when he was with Pittsburgh. Kareem Hunt, I don't really care for going against Arizona. They have really good pass defending linebackers. I like Chubb better in that matchup than I like Hunt. So, Chenault Jr., I don't think he's going to be a boom, but I do like him. I think he's going to get you some points that you need. And because of that, I think you edge out Chad behind the heels of Allen and Harris. But I think Chenault puts you over that edge to win this week. For me and Dan, I'll do my team first. I really like Stafford this week. That's why I'm starting him over Prescott, which I think something happened with Prescott. I don't even think he's playing. But they're going against the Giants defense, who's ranked 24th. So I like Stafford. I really like Lockett. He's had a couple just average weeks for me. But they're playing Pittsburgh, who's 30th in the total wide receivers, so I think he has a pretty good week. The biggest thing for me, I think, is Cook and Jefferson. I think they're both busts this week. I don't even think Cook will play. So as you'll probably see after watching this, Cook's in my will probably be in my flex just in case they call a last minute switcheroo there again. They have a bye next week, so I think Cook gets rested, and then that way he has next week off. Jefferson, I don't like either because Minnesota's offense is based off running the ball and then play action. Without Cook, Madison's not that good. I don't see them running the ball effectively to where the play action is open. So I think Jefferson has a down week with Cook not being in the game. For Daniel, Monin. Yum. Tannehill, I do not like. He's playing the number 1 defense to quarterbacks right now, and he already has 6 turnovers this season. So I really do not like Tannehill. Williams, as I said earlier, with Gordon on David's team, I think Williams gets the primary workload this week, so I think he has a boom compared to the weeks he's had. So we'll see. Going against Las Vegas, 24th to the running backs, but dude averaged 7.6 carries last game, and 2 weeks ago he carried 8 players for about 19 yards. I would give him the ball, but Denver does a lot of things I wouldn't do. So Waller, I actually like this week. I like Waller. Going against Denver, who's been number 4 to the tight ends, but we've seen the tight ends they've been playing, and based on previous years, since Waller's been in the league, or since the last 2 years when he started starting, he's killed Denver every time he's played them. So I think he has a big week despite what he's projected. And then Christian McCaffrey, I think he's a bust. They're saying he could come back this week. If he does, I think it's limited. I think it's a risk starting him. I don't know if he plays. You're playing with fire if he starts, because if it's either going to be a great boom and he gets you about 30 points, or he's going to be limited in playing time and you started him and someone on your bench may have outscored him. So it'd be interesting to see what you do this week, Dan. Despite whether you play C-Mac or how he plays, I think you get the win, man. I think Cook and Jefferson have down weeks, and I don't think I can make. I don't think the rest of my team scores enough points to stay with you. Especially, I think Waller's gonna have an amazing week. So, but yeah, that's it for my predictions. Maybe I'll see you guys next week.